While some movies have an undeniable impact on popular culture, other excellent explorations of conflict have been completely underrated and deserve far more attention. Whether through accurate dramatizations of World War II, intense insights into the complexities of the Vietnam War, or even releases that deal with lesser known conflicts, or lesser explored conflicts shall we say, war movies have the power to entertain and inform audiences. The best war movies were not necessarily the most popular, as truly impactful films challenge viewers in ways that the box office hits often don't, and all of these hidden gems, underappreciated classics, or forgotten triumphs spread an impactful message around the horrors of war, the importance of peace, and the value for fighting for what is right. With releases from some of the greatest directors who have ever lived, all of these movies deserve to reach a far larger audience. Welcome to Popcorn Programming, and here is our list of 10 war movies that are supremely underrated. Pop pop! In number 10 we have Glory from 1989, directed by Edward Zwick. The epic historical war drama Glory told the story of the 54th Massachusetts Infantry Regiment, one of the Union Army's first African-American regiments in the American Civil War. With Matthew Broderick as the regiment's commanding officer, Colonel Robert Gould Shaw and Denzel Washington in an early Oscar-winning role, the film depicted the regiment's formation and their heroic actions at the Second Battle of Fort Wagner. Featuring stunning cinematography and a story that shone a light on an underrepresented aspect of American history, Glory did what the best war movies do and was both entertaining and informative. From his performance here, it was clear that Washington was well on his way to becoming a major movie star, and Broderick gave perhaps the most mature performance in his early career. As one of the greatest American Civil War movies ever made, Glory deserves to reach a far larger audience. In number 9 we have Letters from Iwo Jima from 2006, directed by Clint Eastwood. In 2006, director Clint Eastwood released 2 back-to-back movies based on the World War II Battle of Iwo Jima in 1945. While Flags of Our Fathers depicted the conflict from an American perspective, Letters from Iwo Jima, which we're focusing on now, explored the Japanese experience, which was told almost entirely in Japanese through a story that honoured the fortitude of that country's soldiers. With heart and humanity, the film had a powerful message that no matter what side of the divide people stand on, at its core, warfare just leads to needless death. Although Flags of Our Fathers was made with a much higher budget, Letters of Iwo Jima was more successfully artistically, as it explored World War II from a side rarely heard from in Western cinema. Eastwood took viewers right in the midst of the brutal battles and avoided the racial stereotypes that normally undermine Hollywood productions like this. As yet another acclaimed addition to Eastwood's incredible body of directorial work, Letters from Iwo Jima may not be one of his best known films, but it was certainly among his most accomplished works. In number 8 we have Fury from 2014, directed by David Ayer. While viewers will know Brad Pitt from big budget historical war movies such as Troy, or modern classics such as Inglourious Basterds, one under the radar release that's worth watching was Fury. Written, directed and co-produced by David Ayer, Busy Boy, Fury starred Brad Pitt as Don War Daddy Collier, a tank commander who faces dire challenges and tough decisions as he moves across the war-torn lands of Nazi Germany in April of 1945. By avoiding the normal distinctions of heroes and villains, Fury shifted his focus to be the sheer brutality of war. With an intense sense of claustrophobia, Fury saw its 5 main characters all confined to one tank, as Shia LaBeouf, Logan Lerman, John Bernthal and Michael Pena gave incredible performances alongside Pitt. Fury showcased the high-pressure situation of active warfare while highlighting the tragically disposable nature of soldiers on the front line. As a glimpse into the soul-crushing expectations put on soldiers during the war, Fury was an insightful and accomplished piece of filmmaking. In number 7 we have Lifeboat from 1944, directed by Alfred Hitchcock. Lifeboat was one of Alfred Hitchcock's most underrated movies and a strong insight into the filmmaker's growing talent for narrative and suspense-driven stories throughout the 1940s. As a survival film set entirely on a lifeboat launched from a freighter torpedoed and sunk by a Nazi U-boat, Lifeboat showcased World War II from a very unique perspective. While Lifeboat did get criticism at the time for its sympathetic portrayal of German U-boat captains, this empathetic viewpoint has helped it stand the test of time. While trailblazing creativity, Lifeboat laid the groundwork for Hitchcock's later limited setting movies such as Rope, Dial M for Murder and Rear Window. With strong characterizations, Lifeboat showcased the complexities of Allied infighting, lack of cooperation, and general bickering, which acted as an appropriate metaphor for warfare in general. With an almost theatrical-like presentation, Lifeboat was a hidden gem in Hitchcock's acclaimed filmography. In number 6 we have Force 10 from Navarone, from 1978, directed by Guy Hamilton. Nestled in between his time playing Han Solo in Star Wars and The Empire Strikes Back, Harrison Ford gave a highly underrated performance in the criminally underseen action war film Force 10 from Navarone in 1978. Joined by the likes of the late great Carl Weathers, Barbara Bach, and Frank Nero, this sequel to the 1961 movie The Guns of Navarone saw an oddly assorted team of military experts aim to raid and destroy a vital enemy bridge during the Second World War. While this plot point will bring to mind movie classics such as The Bridge on the River Kwai, Force 10 from Navarone was more focused on action and characterization to deliver a solid crowd pleaser from a group of talented actors. From director Guy Hamilton, the filmmaker behind 4 James Bond films, in a way, Force 10 from Navarone felt like a reunion for 007 enthusiasts, as it featured many returning actors from that franchise, including Richard Jaws Keel. In number 5 we have The Siege of Judotville from 2016, directed by Richie Smith. The Siege of Judotville highlighted a seldom represented moment in military history as it explored the Irish Army unit's role in the United Nations operation in the Congo. With Jamie Norton as the Irish Army Commander Patrick Quinlan, this nail-biting account depicted the standoff between Irish soldiers and French and Belgian mercenaries. As a tribute to the brave soldiers who never got the recognition they deserved at the time and were treated as cowards for their surrender, the Siege of Judotville highlighted their impossible situation as they only conceded defeat when they had no food, no ammunition, or water left. With spectacular battle scenes and enough quiet moments that showcase the everyday experiences of the soldiers, the Siege of Judotville had a hyper-focus on a particular historical event that was entirely misunderstood at the time. Dornan gave a fantastic performance as Quinlan, and the entire cast's excellent work served to pay tribute to the young men who showed real heroism in the face of unimaginable challenges. In number 4 we have Hamburger Hill from 1987, directed by John Irvin. While plenty of Vietnam War movies such as Apocalypse Now, The Deer Hunter and Platoon have received widespread acclaim, and for good reason, those are all great, there have been many more that have flown under the radar. One example of a film that deserves much more love is Hamburger Hill, which is a movie that has not gained the same kind of widespread ubiquitous pop culture relevance as those other films. However, those who have seen Hamburger Hill will understand its power, and it boasts an impressive 100% score on Rotten Tomatoes if you care about that kind of thing. Taking place during the Battle of Hamburger Hill, which was a May 1969 assault during the Vietnam War by the US Army's 3rd Battalion, this John Irvin movie was a thrilling look at the platoon's challenges during that conflict. As a box office success at the time of its release, grossing an impressive $13.8 million, it's a shame that Hamburger Hill has never quite gotten its due from modern movie viewers. Despite being extremely underrated, Hamburger Hill does hold up incredibly well and is worth checking out for those looking for a lesser known war movie to add to their watch lists. In number 3 we have The Wind That Shakes the Barley from 2006, directed by Ken Loach. The Wind That Shakes the Barley presented an authentic portrayal of Irish rebellion as it painted an uncompromising, gripping portrait of Ireland's long-sought fight for independence. From director Ken Loach and starring future Best Actor winner Cillian Murphy, The Wind That Shakes the Barley told the story of 2 brothers who joined the fight for Irish independence against the British. By exploring the conflict as a social revolution that allowed the Irish to gain independence in all ways of living, this underseen war drama showcased just how demoralising and eroding British rule was on Irish culture, language and traditions. I guess apologies, Ireland. As the winner of the Palme d'Or at the 2006 Cannes Film Festival, The Wind That Shakes the Barley represented Loach's biggest success. Yet in the grand scheme of pop culture, it was still quite an obscure release. However, his powerful narrative managed to capture the complexities of the Irish Civil War in a microcosm that made even those unfamiliar with the conflict understand its impact. The Wind That Shakes the Barley was the definitive Irish war movie and deserves to reach a much bigger audience. In number 2 we have Tigerland from the year 2000, directed by Joel Schumacher. While director Joel Schumacher was a talented filmmaker, he was also at the receiving end of some extreme creative and commercial failures, most notably his divisive superhero movie Batman and Robin, for which he was rightly and endlessly ridiculed. Another example of this was Tigerland, which was a commercial failure as it made just over $148,000 against a $10 million budget. However, the truth is that Tigerland is an excellent movie that bolsters a strong story, has a talented cast, and an emotional, weighty narrative. Despite bombing at the box office, Tigerland remains a compelling look at the group of American soldiers preparing to fight in Vietnam. Set in 1971, just as public support in the war was faltering, Tigerland offered a fascinating glimpse into the contemporary culture's pervading anti-establishment political beliefs, and the effects of soldiers being sent to fight in a war that they did not agree with. By taking viewers from boot camp into the heart of battle, Tigerland was a compelling and thought-provoking war film whose power disappointingly failed to translate into box office success. And in number 1, we have Johnny Got His Gun from 1971, directed by Dalton Trumbo. Despite sounding like an adult film, this is actually quite a harrowing tale. The famed screenwriter Dalton Trumbo adapted his own 1937 novel to make this harrowing account of a World War I soldier's experience after being hit by an artillery shell in battle. Johnny Got His Gun is a powerful anti-war movie that saw American soldier Joe Bontham lose his eyes, ears, mouth, nose and limbs. As a prisoner in his own body, doctors considered Joe to be in a vegetative state, although he made every effort to let him know that of this terrifying plight as he banged his head against the pillow to spell out help in Morse code. Johnny Got His Gun showcased the true price of war as it shifted his focus from the battlefield to a hospital bed and stood as one of the most profound examples of anti-war filmmaking of all time. From encountering visions of Christ to being depicted as in a glass coffin in a freak show demonstration, Trumbo managed to seamlessly transfer the internal psychological torment of his novel to the visual medium of film. As a movie that's so harrowing it's difficult to recommend to the average viewer, it is no surprise that Johnny Got His Gun has been extremely underrated. However, if you think you can handle it, I would recommend you check it out. It is really good. And there you have it. There is our list. So what do you think? What is the most underrated war film of all time in your opinion? Let us know in the comment section down below. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and click the subscribe button if you are new around here. That's all for now, so I'd like to thank you for watching and we'll see you later. Pop pop! See ya!